Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to do specifically a midpoint sum, which is similar to a left or right Riemann sum, but in my opinion it's a lot more simple, and there are also certain conditions that have to be met in order to be able to do a midpoint sum. Alright, so let's go ahead and start. One of these conditions is that your x values, or in this case your p values, have to be evenly spaced apart, otherwise you cannot do a midpoint sum whatsoever. Alright, and the way that it would typically be phrased on an AP FRQ is something along the lines of N of P is the rate at which minnows are dumped into a shark tank in pounds per hour at some time P. And then one of the parts of the problem would be use a midpoint sum with 4 subintervals to approximate the total number of minnows dumped into the tank during the time interval 0 to 24. This is just another way of expressing your bounds in an integral, so don't get tripped up with that. Alright, now the first thing you have to know about a midpoint sum is you're not going to use every single x value. You're going to skip over every other one. So in this case you go from 0 to 6, 6 to 12, 12 to 18, 18 to 24, and there are your 4 subintervals. 1, 2, 3, 4, and these are always going to be the same value when you're doing a midpoint. And when you're trying to figure out which f of x or n of p values you need to use, you just use the one that's in between the two x values that you have for each interval. So 0 to 6, you're going to use 32. 6 to 12, you're going to use 41. 12 to 18, you're going to use 50. 18 to 24, you're going to use 63. Alright, that's pretty simple. And you just come down here in the problem, do the integral from 0 to 24 of n of p dp is approximately equal to 32 times 6 plus 41 times 6 plus 50 times 6 plus 63 times 6. And then typically for a midpoint sum with values this high, they're going to give you a calculator, but they might not, so just be aware of that. But anyway, this equals 1,116 pounds. And you don't have to put units unless they specifically ask you to put units. I just did it because that's how I am. Another thing about the units, you have to be careful that you put exactly the right units, otherwise they will take off for it. And if they don't ask for it and you don't put units, you'll get full credit. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so that's how to do a midpoint sum. Thanks, y'all.